Everyone tells you to face your fears or push through the fear. But neuroscience shows this advice is completely wrong. However, there's a hidden mechanism in your brain that can transform terror into unstoppable drive in less than 60 seconds. Because the most successful people don't eliminate fear, they've learned to speak its language. And I'm about to teach you the exact conversation. If you've ever felt paralyzed by fear, if you've ever let anxiety stop you from pursuing what you want, or if you're tired of watching fear control your decisions, this video will change everything. Because what I'm about to show you isn't just theory, it's a scientifically backed method that turns your brain's alarm system into your greatest ally. Here's what most people don't understand about fear. It's not your enemy. It's your brain's most sophisticated survival system, and when you learn to work with it instead of against it, something remarkable happens. You don't just overcome fear, you transform it into rocket fuel for achievement. In the next 11 minutes, you'll discover why traditional fear advice actually makes you more afraid. The neurobiological secret that elite performers use to thrive under pressure. A simple 3-step process that rewires your brain's fear response. And the counterintuitive truth about why your biggest fears are actually pointing you towards your greatest potential. But here's what makes this different from every other fear video you've watched. We're not going to pretend fear doesn't exist. But we're going to understand exactly what's happening in your brain when fear strikes and then use that knowledge to turn terror into triumph. Let me start with something that might shock you. Fear and excitement are neurologically almost identical. Your racing heart, sweaty palms, heightened alertness, these are the exact same physiological responses whether you're terrified or thrilled. The only difference, the story your brain tells about what's happening. But think about this, when you're on a roller coaster, your body experiences the same sensations as when you're giving a presentation to your boss. Same accelerated heart rate, same adrenaline surge, same heightened awareness. But in one scenario, you're screaming with joy, and in the other, you're paralyzed with dread. This isn't just a fun fact, it's the key to everything. Because if fear and excitement are neurologically twins, that means you already have the biological machinery for courage. You just need to learn how to redirect it. Here's where most advice goes wrong. It tells you to eliminate fear. But neuroscience shows us that trying to suppress fear actually amplifies it. It's like trying not to think of a pink elephant. The harder you try, the more vivid it becomes. Let's dive into what's actually happening in your brain when fear strikes. Understanding this mechanism is crucial because you can't change what you don't understand. When your brain perceives a threat, real or imagined, it triggers what neuroscientists call the amygdala hijack. Your amygdala, the brain's alarm system, floods your body with stress hormones before your rational mind even knows what's happening. This happens in milliseconds. Your amygdala is scanning for danger 24/7 and it's incredibly sensitive. Or it would rather sound a false alarm 1,000 times than miss one real threat. That's why you can feel terrified of things that logically you know aren't dangerous, like public speaking or starting a new business. But here's the fascinating part. Your amygdala can't tell the difference between a saber-toothed tiger and a job interview. To your ancient brain, they're both potential threats to your survival. Now, most people try to fight this system. They tell themselves to calm down or stop being afraid. But neuroscience reveals something incredible. The most resilient people don't fight their fear response, they reframe it. Studies from Harvard Business School show that when people say, "I'm excited" instead of "I'm calm" before a stressful situation, their performance improves dramatically. Why? Because you're working with your body's natural arousal instead of against it? This brings us to the core technique that changes everything: anxiety reappraisal. Instead of trying to calm down, you're going to learn to gear up. Here's the 3-step process. Step 1, acknowledge the signal. When you feel fear rising, don't fight it. Instead, say to yourself, "My body is preparing me for something important." This simple acknowledgement stops the secondary fear, the fear of being afraid. Step 2, reframe the sensation. Instead of "I'm terrified," try "I'm energized." Instead of "I'm anxious," try "I'm alert and ready." You're not lying to yourself, you're accurately describing the same physiological state from a different perspective. Step 3, channel the energy. Now ask yourself, how can I use this energy to perform at my best? Your fear response has just given you enhanced focus, increased strength, and heightened awareness. These are superpowers, not weaknesses. Let me give you a real example. Before every major presentation, I used to feel my heart racing and my palms sweating. I would tell myself to calm down, which only made it worse. Now, when I feel those same sensations, I say, "Perfect. My body is giving me the energy I need to deliver something powerful." The physiological response is identical, but the outcome is completely different. Here's the most counterintuitive truth about fear. It's not trying to stop you, it's trying to guide you. Your biggest fears are often pointing directly toward your greatest growth opportunities. Think about it. You're not afraid of things that don't matter to you. You don't feel terror about activities you have no interest in pursuing. Fear shows up precisely where your potential lies. This is why successful entrepreneurs feel fear before launching a business, why great artists feel terror before sharing their work, why athletes feel anxiety before competition. The fear isn't a bug in the system, it's a feature. It's your internal GPS saying, "This matters. This could change everything." Stephen Pressfield calls this resistance, and he argues that the more resistance you feel towards something, the more important it is for your growth. Your fear is literally a compass pointing toward your destiny. But here's the crucial distinction. There's a difference between fear that protects and fear that imprisons. Protective fear keeps you from walking into traffic. Imprisoning fear keeps you from walking into opportunity. How do you tell the difference? Ask yourself, is this fear protecting my body or protecting my ego? If it's protecting your ego from potential embarrassment, rejection, or failure, that's imprisoning fear, and that's exactly where you need to go. Now let's talk about building your fear tolerance. Just like physical strength, emotional resilience can be trained. Every time you move toward fear instead of away from it, you're literally rewiring your brain. Neuroscientists call this fear extinction learning. When you repeatedly expose yourself to feared situations and nothing catastrophic happens, your amygdala learns to dial down its alarm response. But here's the key, you have to start small. If you're terrified of public speaking, don't start with a TED Talk. Start by speaking up in a meeting. If you're afraid of starting a business, don't quit your job tomorrow. Start with a side project. Each small act of courage builds what psychologists call self-efficacy, your belief in your ability to handle challenges. And here's the beautiful part, courage is contagious. The more you act courageously in one area, the more courage you'll have in all areas. Remember, Courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is feeling the fear and choosing to act anyway. Every time you do this, you're proving to your brain that you can handle more than it thinks you can. The truth is, fear will never completely disappear from your life. And that's actually good news because fear is information. It's your brain's way of saying, pay attention, this matters. The question isn't whether you'll feel fear, it's what you'll do when fear shows up. Will you let it paralyze you, or will you use it as fuel? Remember, your brain's fear response was designed to keep you alive, not to keep you comfortable. When you learn to work with this system instead of against it, you don't just overcome fear, you transform it into your greatest source of power. The most successful people in the world aren't fearless, they're fear-fluent. They've learned to speak fear's language and use it as a compass toward their greatest potential. If this resonated with you, if you're ready to stop letting fear control your decisions and start using it as your guide, I want you to hit that like button right now. And if you're serious about transforming your relationship with fear and unlocking your full potential, subscribe and turn on notifications. The video appearing on your screen right now will show you the next crucial step in this journey, because understanding fear is just the beginning. Your fears aren't holding you back, they're showing you the way forward. The question is, are you ready to follow where they lead? Until next time.